while I do appreciate the opportunity for us to think together as student union leaders and officials of student association, either at faculty or departmental levels, I would like to quickly register the fact that your position in the campus is an indispensable position. We feel that your input, your contribution into the organization of the campus life, and even some of the issues that you press for in order to seek both the welfare of students and of your organizations, they are a very, very invaluable contribution onto the progress of the entire process of the university. And it is because of that that I have accepted to make an input into those of you that are in leadership. I also realize that I perceive that some of you are simply pupil politicians. One of these days, you will not only be in the house of SUG, some of you might become members of the House of Senate of the entire nation, and we see some of you becoming governors tomorrow. And it's not strange. The governor today of Oyo State, he was once upon a time a student, isn't it? Yeah. And it's very exciting to note that several things that have affected Nigeria, that have shaped the thoughts of our leaders, have been generated not just from the policymakers, even from students who are active in student unionism. So I want to say that it is not to be taken for granted that you are here, and we want to ask that as you undertake this service, and I want to first say it's a service to the community, we pray that God will guide each one of you and help you to succeed with those things that you have ordained or elected to do. Now I'm going to bring an input before I open our interaction. I'm going to bring an input from some biblical perspective as regards leadership. The first thing I'd like to establish this afternoon, and if you permit me, I will do that very quickly. The Bible recognizes leaders, and that's the first thing I want to say, that leadership is not rebellion. Unionism is not rebellion. Association of thinking human beings in order to press for issues and to raise awareness of what goes on among the led is not rebellion. Actually, it is allowed and it is recognized even by God. And Romans chapter 13, look at how he puts it. I'll read that very quickly. If you don't have your Bible, don't worry. I'll just make this presentation before we discuss. He said, let every soul be subject unto the higher powers. For there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God. Whosoever therefore resists the power, resists the ordinance of God, and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. For rulers are not a terror unto good. They are not a terror to good works, but to the evil. Without then not be afraid of the power, do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same. For he is the minister of God to you for good. But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid. For he beareth not the sword in vain. For he is the minister of God, a revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil. Now each time I came to the word of God and it says, a leader is a minister of God. That looks too big to me. That is to say, while I stand here as a minister of the word of God, God also says, you, where you are sitting there, as a student union leader or representative, or as a leader of your association, leading a particular community of people with some stated objectives and interests, God is saying, you also, you are what? A minister of God. And that you stand in there as God's own delegated authority in order to bring about orderliness, to bring about purposefulness, to bring about objectivity in the management of human beings and of the issues that have to do with different associations that are there together. So first and foremost, I want you to know, and I don't know whether I could make it more clearer to you, that God does not look at you as a discordant man or woman. He looks at you as his minister. He looks at you as one who represents him and who is doing a service on his behalf among men. Now, the implication of that, and I would like to put two implications to that. If a student union leader is a minister of God, it means he carries the backing of God behind him. It means what he does it as one who represents God among his colleagues. And at the same time, if anybody were to resist him or to stand against him, you will be standing against the authority he represents, the authority of God. That's the first implication. And that's why we couldn't come into the university and talk to different segments and leave these ministers out. It will never be right. We could not behave as if God had not put you here. You are here. But then the second implication is that because you're a minister of God, you are directly responsible to God for your action. The implication of this is that none of you came to where you are, even though there may be some elections, some political campaigns, and all the things that did. But the truth of the matter is that you became what you became. You were brought into leadership of your association because God had ordained that you'll be here. There are others who actually may have had greater goodwill than yourself. When I use goodwill, I mean charisma, good name, connections, but somehow, it didn't fall through to them, and you are here today. For every post you now occupy, it was in the place of another person. Am I right? So we want to acknowledge that God put you here. And if it is God that put you here, you are first and foremost directly responsible to God. And if you are going to ever be a disappointment at all, you will first and foremost only be a disappointment to him who appointed you. So the first thing I'd like you to know as my opening remark is that you are ministers of God. Would you like to repeat that to somebody by your side and say, do you know you're a minister of God? And because of this very, very grave position that God has allowed you to occupy among your colleagues and among other students that have reposed their confidence in you and say, we know you can speak for us, certain things become incumbent upon you as a leader. And I'm going to highlight few things that you need to watch. If student unionism is going to bring about the positiveness that it ought to introduce and contribute to the university life. I have never thought the right thing to do was for the university authority to cancel student unionism. I thought that the way forward is to enter into a relationship between the leadership of the university, the principal officers of the university, and the student union government. And they should work as partners. I've always believed that in between the principal officers or the management team of the university and the students, there are people who are the best interpreters of students' feelings, students' aspiration, students' understanding, students' perspective. I must tell you, sir, that it is never possible for you sitting on this other side to be able to see with the eyes of the student. Management will always see from the management eye. Am I right, sir? And all the time, management always interprets situation from the management perspective. Now, so there will be imbalance in the system if we do not have what I would call the interface. And I want you to know that these men and women sitting here, they are the interface. They are you know, when you use interface in any electronic equipment, what you are simply saying is that here is an equipment that needs to communicate with this other equipment, but it is not directly compatible. So what do you do now? You bring in an interface, and that interface is the one that stands in between. It has connectivity with this equipment and connectivity with this equipment, and inside itself it finds a way of marrying or of resolving what could have been the conflict between the two equipment. That's the use of an interface. Now, when you see men who have come into student union leadership and they are performing their role correctly, they serve as that interface. So what it means is that there must be connectivity between these people and management. I say connectivity. And what I mean by connectivity is that there should be a point, a forum, where we should be able to connect. And connect not as people that are fighting each other, but connect with people that are partners. And I do know that over the years, the university system had grown a little. I know that many years ago, when we were in the system, all we had is student affairs officer who is from the registry, isn't it? And because being a registrar is not academic, he doesn't understand what students are going through. He doesn't know the pressure of academic and other aspects of life. Sometimes when you get to the registry, the registrar sometimes doesn't understand anything, especially those deputy registrars who grew through the ranks in the olden days of the university. They don't understand. And all they knew is bureaucracy. Put your file there. Pending. Keep in view. That's the language. Now, but I think university system has grown a bit by bringing an academic and making the student affairs office almost an academic department, isn't it? Now, so we now have a dean of student affairs who himself is not less than a professor, who can sit in the Senate and be able to argue intelligently the issues that affect students. So the first thing I'm noting is that this is an interface. And if it's going to be an interface, you need to recognize your responsibility. What's your responsibility? Connectivity. Can you say connectivity? Now, this connectivity is a two-way connectivity. Connectivity with leadership. Not as rebels. Not as opposition. Now, if, unfortunately, most of the time, the approach to unionism has always been generated from that philosophy that always views leaders or leadership as oppressors, and has always thought that the only way the oppressed can bring their thoughts and their cries to the ears of the leaders whom they already think were oppressors is to do what? Is to fight. I want to say to you that fighting actually does not enhance connectivity. Connectivity with leadership, I suppose, must be the first agenda of student union leaders. If student union leaders will not begin to think and think objectively and deliberately as to establish connectivity, what happens is that even the people that you represent, they will never get the best. Now, but connectivity with leaders, I will be talking about how can we build that connectivity, because it will be very critical in the operation that we are looking forward to. But then, that connectivity must also, on the other side, there must be connectivity with those that you represent. Am I right? Now, there is no way the student body the association that you represent can get across in their thoughts, their pulses, and their aspirations, or the fire inside their heart. There's no way it gets across unless it passes through this interface. So again, a situation where student unionism is aloof, is not connected, even with the students that you are leading. In which case, the ideas, the thoughts, the desires of I will use a statistical terminology, because you know sometimes a good leader must be a leader who operates within the median class. The median class, M-E-D-I-A-N, the median class. Now, what is the median class? The median class is that class that carries the highest frequency of thoughts. So if we take 50 students, for example, and 35 of them are repeatedly concurring on a particular matter, and 5 of the 50 are standing on an idea, and the other 10, they are in the lower side. A good leader is not correct, is not yet a good leader who only represents the 5%. Is not in the median class. Are we together now? So, connectivity. For you to operate in the median class, that is, for you to be able to carry the popular feel of the association or the group you represent, you must be connected with the majority of them. You must be a leader that listens. You must be a leader that does enough research. You must be able to do what? Research. To know what exactly are the issues that I'm supposed to connect with in order to connect on this other side. Now, because you are going to be an interface between the management and the student population, and because connectivity is the crucial word, especially of your position, we will need to invest. I want to invest a bit of my time this afternoon dealing with how do we grow connectivity. How do we enhance connectivity? Is there a wisdom in building connectivity? Connectivity on the two sides. Connectivity with students, connectivity with leadership. Are we together? And if we can invest a bit of time this afternoon dealing with that kind of issue, I will be happy to commit you to God, because I know when you begin to be properly connected, both with the students, the popular feeling of the students, and you are connected with the management, great things will happen in the university. Many wastes will be avoided. Many unnecessary troubles and riots we will never know about it on this campus again, by the grace of God. Do you think I should go ahead and make an input on the issue of connectivity? All right. Some years ago, we were on campus, and there was that very, very, very popular student unrest in the 70s. It was a very, in fact, some of us were students in the science department, chemistry, and it was amazing how we were beginning to prepare bombs, hydrogen bombs, and we were planning just to bomb everything. And when we gather in the student union building for consultation, and when a very eloquent mover stands up and says, "Great you are!" Say, "Great!" You know, it jeers us into action. Most of the time, those guys that come to make those noise, they only have ability to make noise. They have never sincerely put their facts together. There was not enough ability to reason among ourselves. What do we want to achieve? If we burn down our facilities, who will build it? If we decide that the laboratory that have been standing for about 10 years, let's break it down because we want government to hear us. Nobody ever asked, who will be the direct loser? There was no connection. Connectivity between ourselves and reality was not there. Do you know that our riot went for a whole year, a whole session? It was a big fight. Students died. Houses were burnt. At the end of the day, when we eventually returned to campus, we were made to sign undertaking. Parents were invited from home. All kinds of things happened. Some of us, we were not carried along. We didn't know what is happening. We just come to the class one day and said, "We no go agree, oh, we no go agree." And that was all. I thought that as an interface, student unionism must grow from barbarism onto scientific politicking. Are you hearing me? If we have connectivity with the issues on ground, and we have made enough research among ourselves, because you are intelligent people. You are people that you have ability to bring facts and figures. And some of you are also endowed with grace to argue, to make presentation. And in an academic community, nobody will fight against intellectualism. And when you bring that at a level of connectivity, we may get greater results than we have ever got over the years. Now, but I have some few thoughts. The first side of connectivity with the led, the people you are leading. I think that's the first place. And there are few words that will be guiding me as I share with you. What I found is that whether you're a politician, or you're a scientist, or you're a teacher, or you're a preacher, I have found the Bible very versatile. I have found that the Word of God, honestly speaking, if you give attention to it, our world will be correct. I'm not being religious. Are you hearing me here? I'm not being religious. I'm not just shouting at you and saying, yes! No. I want you to know that the Bible itself is the objective, the most balanced principle by which every human endeavor can be governed and operated with maximum profit. There is nothing the Bible is silent about. Sometimes people think that you only need Bible when you are going into church. No. My experience has proved that, and of course from my own experience, the Bible says so much to me about my physics theories. And sometimes when I have tried to read all my texts and I have come to an end, there's nothing again, and I turn to the Bible and I find answers. And someone said, you mean there are physics principles in the Bible? Very much. Very, very much. There were theories that my lecturers would not be able to show. And when I began to lecture myself, and I would not be able to express to my students. But when I asked for inspiration, I have found inspiration very, very exciting. So let me take thoughts from the Bible this afternoon and show you few things. Just few things. Now in Proverbs 29 and Proverbs 30, there are few critical words of instruction there. I'm sorry that I will be reading from the Old King James. I wish I have simpler version here, like Message. Do you have your Message here? New King James. Okay, if I need, I will be calling on you. Now, verse 2 says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bears the rule, the people mourn. Can I say to you that your students, those that you represent, if you were righteous leaders, and who is a righteous leader? A righteous leader is who says yes when it means yes. Who says no when it's no. A righteous leader is the one that cannot be bought over. A righteous leader is the one that does not sell out his constituency. Are you getting me? A righteous leader, whether you are even a leader of a cause or a leader of a particular student association, I want to ask you, I hope you are righteous. I hope you are not in leadership to chop. I hope, you see, in leadership, you are there first and foremost to represent the interests of your colleagues and to give them a kind of service that they may never find anywhere else. When the righteous rules, the people do what? Rejoice. But when the wicked is in authority, the people mourn. Verse 4, please. Can you check verse 4 for me from New King James or any other version? Yes, sir. Yes. Are you hearing me? The king establishes the land by what? By justice. But the one that received bribe, what does he do to the land? He overthrows it. And what is bribe? What is bribery? Many times you think maybe bribe has to do with money. But I tell you, bribe comes in different forms, different shape, different shades. Sometimes bribe is the promise of a favor. It's not in cash. It's in kind. And when you begin to receive bribe, you blind your eyes. Sometimes, when a leader has received bribe, he can no longer do what? Establish justice. And as I'm interacting with students, you again discover that even between our own student leadership and the students we are leading, there's a lot of corruption. Can I do ask you that for you to really be able to serve that interface that I'm talking about, something must be done at your decision. You must be straightforward. Your yes must be what? It must be yes. Your no must be what? Your no. Now, you may not know the value of that. The value of that is that as you go on, people begin to take you as a man or as a woman of integrity. Not one who came only to settle himself and to go away. Now, please, brother, can you read for me? I still want you to take your time and read for me a little further. A little further. In verse 12. Verse 12. Can you check verse 12 for me?
If a ruler pays attention to lies, all his servants become wicked.
Is there anybody carrying Good News Bible or Living Bible or Message Bible? Easy to read, yes? Where are you? Yes, easy to read, and the sister always want to read before. All his officials, they will be evil. Who else has another version for me there? Take it again. If a liar. So, if a ruler pays attention to false information, what happens to all his officials? They will be liars. Prof, these are issues. Because we are talking of connectivity here, sir. Who do you connect with in ruling the students? Do you connect with those who come to give you false information? Liars. People who come and tell rumors of what is not true. And you base your decision on such things. What will happen? There will be wickedness everywhere. And young men, from where do you take your own information? If a ruler pays attention to falsehood, if you only take your decision on rumors, if somebody said, well, this has happened, and you did not research your information before you begin to act on it, you will be overthrowing the land. So, we are noting, and do you know one of the things that have ruined Nigeria? And I'm hoping that you are a new crop of leaders for Nigeria. I'm hoping that by the grace of God, by the time you grow up And leadership is being put in your hand. Leadership of state assemblies, leadership of community, leadership of universities, leadership of departments. Or don't you hope to become leaders in some of these places? Talk to me. Are you not looking forward to become leaders? All right. Now, let me say to you, when leaders base their decision on falsehood or their officials, they become what? Liars. Evildoers. One of the things that I've found that has affected many of our systems in the country is that our leaders, they operate from falsehood. Do you know sometime a road had been given out as a contract, and in the government office it has been executed? What the road is executed, but they have not even moved equipment to site. So when you see that kind of information and a leader is acting on it, all the officials of the Ministry of Works, what do they become? Because they have to be settled. So people are signed. You know, sometimes even NUC, they come and do accreditation of courses. Oh, you are not with me. And instead of letting them do a thorough, a proper auditing of the departments, of the courses, of the laboratory, they are taken somewhere, settled, and signed. The laboratory are correct. All the equipment are in place. All the professors to teach the courses are there. Signed, accredited. Now, when that begins to happen, do you know that the students that study in such department, they are in trouble? They all become cheats. Friends, at your level, I'm talking about your level now, I have already talked with our leaders, and they know that I will never say anything less than the truth. As you see me here, I only live for the truth. There's nothing you can do to me because I will tell you the truth. Now, the question that I want to challenge you with as student leaders, I hope you are working on the principles of integrity. I hope that even within your own rank and files, you are not basing your decisions on rumors. I hope before you stand up and say, let's call a boycott, you are not acting on rumors. I hope that you will do empirical research. You know what I mean by empirical research? A research that can be documented, it can be tested. The reason why you are in academics is because we are training you to be intellectuals. You don't just let somebody just blow a trumpet and say, no, let's scatter. No. Just sit down, please. Where do you get your information? Which lecturer is involved in what you are saying? Let's research. Do you know that when you come up with research papers, and you come and said, from our findings, this is happening in this place, this is happening in this place, even if you have to represent the students before the Senate with your papers well researched, nobody will say you are saying nothing. Are you hearing me? But many times, our leaders, even student leaders, they are acting on falsehood. And that's why wickedness is everywhere. Sir, why I address the students? Because I'm talking of an interface. I'm talking of connectivity. I wish that the Student Affairs Division, which represents management to students, will be acting not on rumors, not on falsehood. Let also prove that our policies are based on facts and figures, such that when you stand up, students will be able to bear you record that we know him. It doesn't mix matters. It doesn't muddle things up. We believe in their leadership. That's the first matter of connectivity. You must connect with the truth, not with liars. Connectivity with lies will bring confusion onto your leadership. If they say something is happening in the hall, if somebody should stand up and say, well, you know, there is no this, there is no this, there is no this, you don't act on the sentiment of one person. You must act in the median class. The median class represents the popular opinion of the majority of the people you lead. Connect with the majority of the people you lead, but connect with the truth and not with lies. Your first point of connectivity to be a correct leader must be with the truth. If a ruler hearkens to lies, all his servants will become wicked. The next thing. Will you like, oh, the man has left. He didn't leave me his Bible, but I have some people already who asked me to read in simple ways. Will you please read for me verse 14? The person that read easy to read, the lady that read Living Bible, can you read verse 14 quickly? You are not reading 29:14, sir. 14. If what? If a king, a leader, is fair to the poor. Any other version, please? If a king defends the rights of the poor, if a king speaks for the voiceless, he will rule forever. That's the next point of connectivity I want to ask you to connect with. Connect with the underprivileged. You are in leadership, listen to me, not to connect with those who have all the privileges. You are not in leadership to service those who have all the opportunities. Are you understanding? You are not in leadership to service those who can give you something. You are in leadership, and if your leadership is connected with the poor, with those whom nobody can speak for, and you will notice that, honestly speaking, the median class is always that class. There are many students here that even if anything goes wrong with their courses, they have nobody to talk to. Am I right? There are few that will have a professor who will fight for them. But majority, they don't know what to do. Nobody can speak for them. That's why you are there. You are there to speak for the voiceless. You are there to champion the cause of those who have little or no privilege. And that's where you become useful to the leadership. There's no way the leadership, the management, can actually know those that are downtrodden. Your connectivity brings them up. And then when the dean of students and the management begins to know and say, oh, this is what is happening to majority of our students, what can we do? You will see that their decisions will begin to tend towards those needs that are general among students that are poor and didn't have opportunities. Are we together? Now, when a king is fair to the poor, can I tell you that I know you have come into power by election. But do you know that if you do well, the work of your hand will campaign for you next time? Do you understand? If you touch majority that are poor, that are underprivileged, next time, you don't even need to campaign. Who are the people that will be campaigning for you? And they will only be saying, see what he did. See how they fought for me. Ah, he's a good man. And that's it. I tell politicians, and I've had opportunity now to address politicians, to talk to top leaders, and I tell them, I say, look, if you do well, you don't need to press for second term. The works that you did will do what? Will campaign for you. I'm telling them, I said, listen, it doesn't take much to affect the poor people. It doesn't take much. Just do a road where there has been no road for years. As many people are passing that road, poor people, do you know that as they go in the morning, as they return in the afternoon, as they come back in the night, what are they doing? They are praying for you. They say, may God bless this man. May God bless this man. May God bless this man. And as they are blessing you like that, your life is better. But as they are going through all the gallows and the potholes and they could not, the bridge has broken down. Also, as they are going in the morning, coming in the afternoon, coming in the night, they say, God punish that man. God punish that man. These people, they are wicked. They don't know what they are doing. They are cheating us. They are taking our money. God punish them. Their children also will suffer. You don't know why many people that are in leadership, some of you think that they are enjoying. Some of them, their ends are never good. Because they have collected too many curses from the people. You know, Malu, Tio Neru. The Yoruba says, it is God that used to drive away all the flies. Are you a leader? Don't let God fight you. Do the right thing, and God will help you. Thank you very much. Now, I take the last point here, and then I will now look at connectivity between the leadership and the student leaders. In chapter 30 of the book of Proverbs that we are studying, I want you to please follow me and read that very quickly. Proverbs 30. Are you there? No, 31. I want 31. 31. Verse 3. Verse 4. Verse 5. Yes. Who is helping me to read that? Don't waste your strength on women. Women destroy kings. Wow! Yes? So, let's stop there. Thank you. Student leaders. I'm not hearing you now. Student leaders. Aha. I want you to hear the counsel. It's a very important counsel. Documents that the university was to be run with. That nobody ought to know. They are classified documents. Several of our top leaders, where they are drinking pepper soup with some girls, what do? They release. Sometimes, very, very highly classified documents that even the Senate is yet to discuss and ratify. You will hear it from the mouth of some careless girls. Why? Rulers, they give their strength to strange women. You are a young person, and I want to tell you, it is not your advantage to be loose. Your journey is cut short when you are loose with girls. Don't let the eye of a girl conquer you. If you are a leader, don't let the gesture of a strange girl finish you. It means you are not strong. A leader that easily undresses himself, loses his zip in front of a strange girl, will immediately, unconsciously sell out the whole heritage of his country. Do you know that there are so many things that nobody could get, but when a girl walks into the office and just walks up and down, the man loses his head. He says, so, what now? Now, you are coming into leadership, and we are believing that God will use you to affect this generation. Abi? Don't give your strength to women. You know, as I'm speaking to you, I'm dealing with interface. Am I dealing with interface? Aha. I'm also speaking to our leaders. I'm saying to our leaders, don't give yourself, don't give your strength to women. Let it not be that when they talk of exam leakages, exam malpractices, and it's majorly all around girls. Girls who have no business being in the university. To read, they will not read. Then they go and say, well, you know, what can you do for me? And the big man is saying, so what do you want me to do for you? We are saying that Lautech is established for excellence. Am I right? Established for integrity. Can student union leaders, can you cooperate with the management team to make this university great? No one else could help us fight corruption and exam malpractice apart from you. I don't think lecturers have all the capacity to do it. I believe that if we have objective unionism, who themselves have values that they want to defend, and they want to be proud of the degree they go out from this university with, I believe that part of what student unionism and all the associations should be doing is to join hands to connect with leadership for excellence. And it will not be difficult to even bring any lecturer who is not doing his work properly to bring him to book. Can I ask you, don't give your strength to women. Can you tell somebody by your side, don't give your strength to women? You see, You are too young to be wasted. Excuse me, friends. I want to hear about you in 10 years' time. I want to hear that you are doing well. But if you contract HIV now, what it means that in 5 years' time, you'll be no more. Look at the hope that your family has and the hope that the nation has. Don't dash our hope. Don't give your strength to women. Don't dissipate. If I have chance to deal with what it means, it's dissipation. Loss of energy without purpose. God will help you. Now, the second thing says you should not give yourself to, as a leader, don't give yourself to drink. Say it is not good for leaders to drink beer because they lose their sense of judgment. They take decisions without thinking. When you see someone who gives himself to drinking, even when we have done research, his intellectualism reduces. What alcohol does is that it attacks some of your sensory cells and continue to dull it, to make it inactive. So when a man gradually becomes a drunkard, he can't take finest decision anymore. His decisions is usually blurred because he cannot see precision anymore. You are too young to waste away. Don't give yourself to drink. How I wish on this campus, student union leaders, they will spearhead morality. You know, when the leadership is speaking and the student union leaders, they are organizing, I want you to begin to organize very, very dynamic program that brings core values to students. I want your government to begin to set agenda. Say, during this session, student union government is going to organize this. It is not only disco parties that student union government should be known with. Student union government should organize interactive sessions that engages the intellect of your members. And we say, how can we move on? How can we move on? I'm praying that God will help each one of you and give you wisdom as you go on. Will you please read finally for me verse 8 and verse 9. I will have finished the connectivity that I'm dealing with between student and students, and then I'll deal with connectivity between management and the students. Yes. Do you see that? That's your reason for being leadership. Speak for those who cannot speak. That's the reason for student unionism. Student associations, they were meant for this purpose. To be able to provide platform for those who cannot speak. Don't speak for your selfish interests. You have been elected into your office that you might be a representative of the feelings, of the thoughts. So you need to be connected with your constituents. Connectivity. Don't be aloof in leadership. Don't be taking decisions without clear research among your students. Ask them, send questionnaires out. You will be surprised what students are thinking about, and then you will be standing to connect. Sir, before I come to sit down, sir, I know that the pulse of the leadership of this university is for excellence. I know that the university is completely tired of disrupted academic sessions. And I'm aware that the management is longing to see a university built by excellence. It's very interesting that our former HOD is here, and during his tenure, the Department of Urban, and Regional Planning, became one of the best departments in the whole of Nigeria. And I have been told, yes, I've been told that some of the students that graduated from LAUTECH were the best computer engineers and scientists. And right in the US, they are making waves. Now that's the name you want to keep building, isn't it? We want to place the name of LAUTECH at the height. We don't want it to come down. Sir, for that to happen, you need to see this body as partners in progress. I want to suggest that regularly, connectivity with students, student leaders, we must not wait until there is an agitation. There must be a time together when you are sitting and they are discussing. They must become your friends because they are your ears. They are your eyes. Of course, they are too intelligent to be bought over. They will not be bribed. But they are intelligent enough that if we are objective, they will reason with us. Am I speaking correctly for students? That if we are objective, these students are intelligent enough to think, to reason. I would like to suggest and put it to you that an interactive forum like this, where student leaders, student union leaders, student association leaders, once a while, we meet together and we discuss and let them know that leadership, management is thinking and listening to them. Connectivity. Once a while, I know the VC will not mind if you simply organize a meeting and say, chat with student leaders with the VC. And you come in and you sit down with some few people and they know that we are working together. Sometimes if students know some of the difficulties that management is going through, they become sympathetic. Sometimes students think that the governor have given all the money. Sometimes they imagine that everything, all the subvention have come in. They don't understand. I have been in leadership and I know what it means. Sometimes courses have been approved, but there's no subvention to run them. Sometimes your VC will go to the governor and they will be tossing him here and there. And what was meant to be approved is not released or diverted somewhere else. And he comes back and staff are putting pressure, students are putting pressure, non-academic staff, they are putting pressure, and he doesn't know what to do. But I believe if we create room where we can share together and say, look, this is our predicament. Do you know something will happen? I remember there was a particular university some years ago. The non-academic staff, they went on strike. So there were no cooks to run the cafeteria. In those days we used to run cafeteria. There was nothing. And the schools was going to go in mess. You know what the VC did? He simply called student leaders and said, this is our situation. Should we close down or can we run? Oh, students, they said, we can run. We will take turn in the kitchen. Particularly the Christian Union of the university, they went into the kitchen and they handled the whole place. They were washing the toilets. And for 2 weeks, the university was running. Nobody begged those staff to come back because they were going to lose their job. Students can be reasonable if we carry them along. And I want to suggest connectivity is the will of God for us. A community like this must commune. There must be good communication. And there must be fair play. Just as the word of God is saying, a leader that is fair to the poor, he will rule for a long time. May God grant you all the wisdom, sir. And may the grace of God be sufficient for you. Now, students, I would like to stop here. And I would like to leave you with one challenge. Do you know that you are living your life? You are passing through LAUTECH. Whatever you make of LAUTECH will be on record. During your tenure, what do you want to be remembered for? What do you want us to remember you for? During this time that you have been given opportunity to contribute to the totality of the student life, what will you be known for? Will it be that during your tenure, cultism overran the campus because you yourself, you are not straightforward? Or will it be that you join hands together with the leadership? They are not oppressors. They are your partners in progress. I would like you to please know, being a minister of God yourself, the source of your strength must be from the Lord. The source of your inspiration must come from Him. And if there be any challenge in your own personal life, why don't you take it to God? Why don't you call on the name of the Lord and say, Lord, I need you, I need you, I need your hand, I need your touch. May the Lord help you. And I'm longing that when next we could visit this university, if God tarries, and I have chance of another interaction, you will be bringing me a report. You'll be saying, indeed, we have moved on. Our university is now on the top rank among all the universities in Nigeria. And why not? Nigeria used to be very great. It pains me the other day that I went to Ghana. And in the University of Ghana, so many Nigerian students, they are queuing, they are just struggling, and they can just treat them anyhow. But why are we going there? Why would Nigeria be now scrambling for positions in the university in Ghana? Why? Because of the evil that befell us. But I believe that this is a new generation. I have a great hope for Nigeria. That's why I keep speaking about this. We are going to see a Nigeria that is revived, restored, and brought back to dignity. May God bless you. May God use you. Because you are leaders of tomorrow. You are already leaders now. But tomorrow is greater. I look forward to when you will be handling the affairs of Nigeria all together. And I pray that God will stand with you Do well in your academics, please. Do well in your academics. God bless you. Thank you.
We should give honor to whom honor is due. And I thank you for joining us to give honor to somebody that deserves it. I will want to say without wasting words that that is a thought-provoking delivery. And something seems to be coming up all the time: communication. When the line of communication breaks down, that's when there is problem. May God help us to communicate in Jesus' name. Well, it's time for interactions. Questions, comments, remarks. Yeah, the first question I had here said, in case the student leaders are not representing the students well, and it seems they are more to the side of the management than the students, what should the students do? That's the first one. 2, should the management choose someone from their own interest to represent the students, or should they give the students the free hand to elect their leaders?
Thank you very much. I believe that the 2 questions, they are dealing with one thing. Normally, if the normal process of election came through, if it is not strangulated, we expect that the student that emerges as the leader is representing the median class that I was talking about, isn't it? And he has responsibility of connecting with the majority thought among the student populace. Now, that will be the normal thing. If that doesn't seem to be happening, I would simply request that students, because we always have a way of changing our government, isn't it? They should pass through the normal process. And when it happens, it's going to be healthy for the entire university. I would like to believe that while the leadership, the management, we want to work with student leadership that are objective. And if we have produced objective leaders who can sit down and reason and think together, when they come back to represent the thoughts of the management, it will not be seen, it must not be seen as if they have been bought over. I believe that we are producing leaders here who are not so cheap as to be bought over or intimidated. And we have leadership now that is not seeking to intimidate students. They are willing to give students opportunity to express themselves. So I wish that as we keep working, relating like this, we will come to an equilibrium. When we come to an equilibrium, you will notice that the thoughts flow so freely. Connectivity becomes very easy. Thank you.
Sir, you focus so much on students, but I would like to ask, how can a Christian thrive in the present day bastardized politics practiced outside the campus?
Right, thank you very much. I have a focus on students because the first issue on our hand is that if you succeed here, you will be preparing yourself with wisdom to succeed out there. Now, the challenge of a Christian standing in politics, even though it's bastardized, is the challenge of being the salt. I hope you know that salt is never afraid of corruption. Carry salt and throw it into any decay. It is not the salt that bows. all the microbial organisms, they are the ones that you see them shrinking as their medium of action is attacked by that dehydrating agent that we call salt. So one of the things is that before you get into politics outside, you must have salt in yourself. You must recognize that you are going in there to make a difference. And if you know you will not be able to stand in there, instead of losing out, why don't you wait until you strengthen yourself? That would be my counsel to that student.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, this is the next question. What advice do you have for a student who wants to combine academics with politics in the school?
I must advise that the first thing that made you a student is your academics. I believe that your constituency for elective office in student politics is that you are a matriculated student. Abi? Aha. Now, when you lose that, you already lose the basis of being in the university. So, first thing come first. I wish that as you want to combine politics, don't forget that you didn't come to the campus to do politics. You came to study. And I want you to know that you lose your integrity if you are a dropout. We need students that are brilliant, that are able to command the respect of the intelligence of their classmates and classmates, and yet in leadership. I want to tell you that it is combinable. When we were on campus, one of our student leaders was a medical student. He was the deputy vice president of the student union. And it was, by the time Fashakin was coming out, in his anatomy and biochemistry, he had distinction. So when he stands up on the student union podium and is addressing us, he talks as an intellectual. And you can't push him back because on this side, on that side, is not a dropout. So I want to suggest, please take care of your academics because that is what gives you constituency to be in the university. And do your political work not as a distraction. Don't run into meetings that are endless. SUG president, as the leader of the entire thought, if you set the agenda and you are very objective, I've already spoken about doing enough research. Give enough materials for students to have. By the time they have thoughts, they will be discussing issues rather than sentiment, and that will save time. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. The next question I want to take, and I think it's very important, that's why I'm selecting it next, for us to hear from the elders. If there is a problem between the student union government and the management of the school, and all attempts to resolve comes to a logjam, is it a right approach for students to embark on protest? For you, sir.
Thank you very much. I would like to note that there must always be a way of expressing, of communication. Protest could have been one means of communicating our thoughts. But there are so many side effects that even students that wanted to protest maybe peacefully cannot control. And this is where I would like to say that the student union government when they come to that kind of situation, if they withdraw a little and seek particular wisdom on how to represent their case, rather than going on uncontrollable protest. But if there must be protest, there's a way we can do so. We could write, we could send delegates, and I'm sure that when the university leadership begins to recognize that we have a student body that is active and they are looking for a way forward, not for destruction, they will definitely give you attention.
Thanks a lot, sir. So finally, sir, if a leader who is willing to sacrificially fight for the interest of the students discovers that he's doing that at his own expense, what should he do?
You mean at the expense of his academics?
The question is not explicit, sir, and I don't want to speak for the person.
All right.
No more questions, please.
Let me say that usually a sacrificial leader, many times, you pay something. And part of what you pay to be a leader sometimes could be costly. I will only advise that such a leader should apply wisdom. While you are doing this, don't lose your constituency. That is, don't miss out on your academics. That's the first thing. The second thing is that while you are serving sacrificially and doing your best, I have emphasized connectivity. If people are knowing the steps you are taking, and I want to again say to our president, please don't keep the student in the dark. Let there be something like a bulletin that comes from your office that informs students what are going on, what are the things going on. In that case, you find that people that are restive, that are saying, no, they are not representing us well, no, they are not doing this, they will understand that, oh, something is going on. And as you do it objectively, it will give you rest. So I'd like to say that such a leader should please seek to maintain a balance. Don't lose your constituency, because when you lose it, you can't even serve the student again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for taking time out to be with us.